I'm Ramsey, the loud one.
I'm Jesse, the short one.
Put us both into one, we are.
Lots of noise, always too fast, lots of laughs. Here's our podcast, the loud and short of it.
Hi, and welcome to Loud and Short of It. I'm Ramsey, the loud one.
And I'm Jesse, the short one. Welcome to our monthly movie review, where we will be reviewing A Quiet Place Part 2.
I like this movie.
I think
this movie's pretty
that this movie was pretty okay.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
Yeah, okay, now we're going to get into the numbers.
Anyway.
It got a 91 from the critics. Very high.
Yeah,
It got a 93 from the audience. Rare you see them that close of a number.
Yeah.
That's kind of.
I think it makes sense for this one.
Speaks well to the movie.
Yeah.
You got everybody on board with you. I'm gonna give it a 74. And after those first two scores, I feel kind of like a grumpy bitch for giving it that.
I don't. I think that's a fair score because I'm giving it a 70 flat.
Hey, we're close.
Yeah,
This
I think.
movie- All audiences in agreement on this movie.
This is a movie that didn't need to be made, but it was, and it was okay.
I have a fun fact about that, but let's get into the other numbers real quick. Worldwide gross, $109 million. Okay.
That's pretty good.
Pretty damn
very
good.
low budget, I think.
Opening weekend made $48 million, which at the time it was released, that was the pandemic record. Biggest movie to come out since the start of COVID. Quickly destroyed by the other movie we reviewed this month, Fast and the Furious. But
I'm sorry, was it Fast 9, the Fast Saga?
Fast 9, the Fast Saga.
F9, Fast 9, the Fast Saga?
Yes.
Watch your fucking mouth talking about the family like that, dog.
With a budget of $61 million, very likely they make a third one. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But fun facts. John Krasinski's a piece of shit and should be canceled.
Cosign.
If you aren't aware, John Krasinski at the beginning of the pandemic made a YouTube channel. He used that YouTube channel to bring up a bunch of fucking sponsors, and then he sold that shit to a company and made a buttload of money.
MSNBC for millions.
Millions off of
Millions.
other people's suffering.
Yep.
It was called The Good News Show. The
Good news
With-
today or something.
yeah,
Good news.
He was like, happy. I sold it all.
He's like, I'm Jin from The Office. You know, that old rascal. Haha, big prank like I did on Dwight.
Okay.
I'm profiting off your suffering.
This is the most fun facts I've ever had on this movie. So now we know John Krasinski is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Second fun fact to know, John Krasinski is not a big enough of a piece of shit to feel like he needed to make a second Quiet Place.
Really?
He made the first one, and he thought it was good. He didn't think it needed a sequel. He was like, I proved myself as an artist. I'm out. I don't need to make my bag off of this. Then John Krasinski said that was his viewpoint. Two of the screenwriters who helped him write the first one were like, we're not going to make a second one. That's a bad idea. Then John Krasinski said in an interview that the producers did some Jedi mind tricks on him and convinced him to direct and write the second movie.
Are you fucking serious?
And Jedi mind tricks is a very fun way to say offered him a fucking bag and the man went for it and wrote this fucking movie. Which makes me like it so much less, and I'm mad that I gave it the 74.
John, if you're listening, I've looked all my life for a nemesis, and I think I found him. I hate you, John Krasinski. I fucking hate you.
I just wish if John Krasinski just was like, I am a sellout, fuck it, who gives a shit? I wouldn't be bothered by it. But
Not even that. He doesn't need to say that. Just don't say something stupid. Just be like, yeah, no, me and the producers, we worked out. We found a way to progress the plot. And we found something that we think could service the original. Do you see how easy that was? I was paid nothing for it. Nothing for what I just said.
I hear a better PR department.
Yeah. Oh, hey, John. I don't hate you, but PR. I'm a professional in it. I'd love to talk to you about that, John Krasinski. Not a piece of shit.
And that's basically the end of my fun facts.
Yeah, I can. You definitely took a direction with this one.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, it's just something that didn't need to be made. But let's jump into our takes.
Okay.
This movie is a continuation of a movie that ended really well, as we just said.
A movie that started the middle and the end was all well. The first Quiet Place was a crazy new kind of horror that really tried something different.
Yeah.
And did it well.
You had to be quiet.
Yeah.
You get it. Alamo had a special menu. You couldn't have popcorn during it.
No chips.
Yeah,
It was
no
crazy.
chips. It was a new exciting time. This before we knew everything we knew about John Krasinski. But I think there's two things I want to say about this movie. There's one thing we learned in this movie. It is that the creatures can't swim. Now I'm just gonna move right over that. That's the only thing we learned. Move right over that. The end of this movie the end of the first movie implicates that this family is going to be totally fine without the father, and that the mom can take care of business. And then in this movie, Cillian Murphy comes in. He plays a character who lived in the same town as whatever their fucking names are, the parents, John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, and he comes in and kind of just takes over, and the mom doesn't really do anything cool. Pretty much, if their plots were switched, this would be a better movie. Because for me personally, it really just felt like the mom was there to just take care of two kids while the new dad character went off with the unruly daughter to go find help, which just felt ridiculous.
See, I thoroughly disagree with this. I think that the new character, he got built up very well. And everything he did, I was like, yeah, all of this makes sense for your character. I get it. I think the daughter got to turn into a badass. I really liked that. And I think Emily Blunt's character, was it kind of shitty that in the first one she got set up to be like, yeah, she's going to be okay, and it was written not as a movie that was going to have a sequel? Yeah. But in this one, it made sense. She had a baby, a literal baby. And then she was just like, yeah, I'm not going to be useful because I'm taking care of a baby.
I guess I understand that, but it's much easier for me personally to make the mental gymnastics that she is going to leave her son and her baby with this trusted friend from their hometown and go and save her daughter because she knows she's effective at fighting these things, than vice versa. Because I just feel like Emily Blunt got robbed out of a fucking awesome moment. Because, bro, Cillian Murphy didn't do a bad job. Like, Cillian Murphy did, he got the assignment, and he fucking did it. But I just feel like the writing in this movie failed it, and it failed what John Krasinski's character set up. Because even in the beginning of the movie, John Krasinski's in it again, and I will say, made me love John Krasinski. I don't care if he's a dickhead. He was walking through that small town, and all I saw was Clark Kent. But the thing that bummed me out is they show John Krasinski again, and then it just like the movie starts becoming about how Cillian Murphy, this new dude who they were friends with, can become like John Krasinski in the first movie. Yeah. And I was like, that doesn't resonate with anyone. That doesn't really matter. But for me, I think that it would have done a lot better with Emily Blunt. That being said, my last point on this is that at the end of the movie, it kind of ends with the two kids through both their plot points. It ends with the two kids taking care of business and killing the aliens. So I will say it may have fucked up and fumbled after the end of the first movie, but at the very end of it, the message in the first one is that they don't need dad, and that everyone's going to be all right. And then at the end of this one, it's that the kids are going to be all right. Yeah, like everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But I feel strongly about that.
I think this is a movie that's worth watching and forming your own opinion on that one.
100%. I agree. I won't call this movie bad. I think I'll even say that Cillian Murphy did such a fucking good job and Emily Blunt did such a good job with what they were given that even if I completely disagree with how they made this movie, it still works as a movie. It's not a bad movie. It's just a movie that doesn't need to exist.
Now, that being said, if you haven't watched this movie but you're watching this, I hate anything being spoiled for me. I like to just go in without even seeing trailers. I wish somebody had told me before I went into this movie, this is not a horror movie.
Not
the first one is a horror movie. It's great. There's some scary moments. There's the whole bathtub scene that's super quiet and very fucking spooky.
Yeah.
And got some good jump scares. This one is just an action movie. There's nothing scary about it. There's maybe like 2 scenes where the music drops out and you're like, ooh, spook. But then it's you always see the aliens.
Yeah.
There's no like alien hiding behind a corner that jumps out.
Yeah.
They're like predators. They don't give a fuck who sees them, so they just come in.
I like that a lot because I think that was actually really well set up at the end of the first movie. Whenever they find out the sonic wave shit and the mom like shoots the alien and kills it, and then the other aliens run by, and the last frame of the movie is Emily Blunt cocking a shotgun, being like, "We're not afraid of them anymore." Yeah. So in this movie, it being more of like they know how to kill these things. I feel like that was one thing where I was like, I can work with that.
Yeah, I also like the idea of which when you see this movie, they obviously are going to make a third one. They've set it up so that even though they shouldn't, and it's strange, would be surprised if they don't.
Yeah.
I hope that the third one they do another big shift. Make it
Yeah.
a totally different genre again. The idea of a franchise with 3 different genres for the movies sounds fucking cool.
Yeah. I wonder where it could even go next this point. I just don't want it to be like. I wanted to find out more about where the aliens came from, but I would hate if the third one we saw like an alien spaceship or something. I feel like that would just get too big.
One of the interesting facts I decided not to share was that logistically the meteor's landing didn't make sense, which is the nerdiest and stupidest take for a movie. They were like, the size of the meteor he saw would have crushed the Earth and caused another global catastrophe similar to the dinosaurs. And it was like, who cares? And then the other points were, but what about all the asteroids that hit the water? Then the things would just die. So like it doesn't make sense. Begs the question. What if there's smart aliens that are just sending these predator aliens into the fucking world?
Yeah.
So if the next movie's a sci-fi movie where they're like, ooh, the smart aliens are coming down to Earth now, humans got to fuck up the aliens.
Yeah.
I'd watch it. I'd be on board
I'd
with
watch it too, but I would need it to not be about this small town family and be about some like Navy
shift.
SEAls. It's being like, oh, we have to kill you. So essentially, we just want Independence Day again, but like not bad. We're figure that one out, John.
Yeah. Boom. I got 2 things to bitch about.
Yeah.
They're pretty quick. One, leaves open for the sequel. Don't feel like that's necessary. And the first one didn't leave it open for a sequel, and they still managed to pull it off. So this one, you could have tied it all nice and pretty and then done it anyways.
Yeah. Even that first one, like even it could have gone either way, whether or not I was open for a sequel, but it's just like that would have been such a perfect ending.
Yeah.
Like you just don't need anymore. In this one, it's just like it's very obvious. Like okay, well, it ends the same way the first one ends. Like we're gonna see another movie out of these people, but
they don't even get back. The whole family isn't even together at the end of the movie.
Yeah, that's true. So, oh god,
it's very stupid because it even like fades to black and then it has a different scene. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's not the family being together. So now you have the daughter and the new dad are on an island, a very safe island filled with people. They've killed the one alien that was there, so they're perfectly fine. And then the wife, baby, and son are potentially gonna get fucked later on, but now there's a loud noise, so everything's gonna be fucked in like 1,000
They
mile
learned how to
radius.
broadcast this like sonic wave that fucks with the aliens, so you can shoot their eardrums or whatever.
Yeah.
I think
it sounds sillier. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just gets back down to like the point we've been making over and over again. It's just like this movie works in practice. I have the biggest problem with this movie, and even then I was just like, I'm not gonna give this movie a 40 because they made a decision I didn't agree with.
And then 2 more things to bitch about, which obviously aren't enough to make it a bad movie. The boats. There's a moment where they have to go get a boat, and then they take the boat to an island, and then one of these boats had an alien on it, and it just happened to float just right to get to the safe island.
Stupid.
Which if you de-dock a boat and then you don't touch the boat, it doesn't make its way to like the likelihood of that happening is very fucking slim.
Dude, yeah, no, when they were on the docks, I had such a funny moment where it was embarrassing. I laughed in the movie theater by myself, but like they're on the docks at this one point, and these like shitty survivors are like trying to fuck with them, and so the dad like yells and like brings the aliens to them, and so they're on the dock and he's with the girl, and I was just like, oh, just jump in the water, like you'll be fine. And then I was just like, wait, that's stupid. Like these apex predators, like you're not gonna just be safe in the water. And then 2 seconds later, the alien jumps in and drowns, and I fucking started crying, laughing because I was like, I guess that wasn't a stupid thought to have. It's like, of course these things can't fucking swim.
When they can't swim in this one, I also had the reaction of being like, oh, well, they need like something negative about these fucking things other than that you can make a loud noise and then shoot them. That's almost impossible
They
to
also
be
just
that
don't
loud.
look like they can swim. Their arms are swords.
Yeah. So now all of that being said, in the first one, John Krasinski and his whole family, man, are they adept at fighting these things. John literally finds out that noise scares them and that they can hear things within the first 5 seconds of them landing on Earth. He finds out that you can stand under a waterfall and the water is loud enough that they can't hear you. He's a fucking expert at murdering these goddamn aliens and staying safe from them. But at no point did the man think to try water. Just not one time. He was like, we could use silence and red lights and string up an entire farm to expertly navigate the avoidance of these things. But a moat couldn't have thought of that one.
Well, I wouldn't have thought about that. I didn't even think of that until it fucking happened. You also have to consider you have to also consider it's just like the sound carries over water.
Mm-hmm.
So you would think like they would be able to hear you from further away.
I'm just saying this should have been going on for 2 years, and they were next to a waterfall. Multiple times they went to the waterfall.
But they were. We're gonna argue about something stupid. The only thing I'll say is like they were living that high stress where the only time where you're seeing them, you don't have time to experiment with them and like try out new ways. The only things you can try out with them are new ways to kill them.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I would not have thought like, they can't swim.
He tried a lot of different stuff at that farm to figure out how to expertly avoid them by sound. He figured out the sound thing very quickly, and then he put sand. He put giant trails of sand.
But that just
everywhere.
But that has to do with hearing stuff.
So this man can only think about hearing things. He can't.
That's the one thing they know about them. They're aliens.
I feel like I would have tried the water thing a long time ago. John Krasinski not built different. First of all, piece of shit. Second of all, dumb.
The shittiest thing about this episode is you're making me defend John Krasinski's character. Oh man, yeah. Quiet Place 2, a good 70. If you watched the first one, watch this one.
If you didn't watch the first one, go watch the first one.
Yeah,
and then maybe watch this one. But the first one's fucking amazing.
Yeah, and then like if you're like, oh well, I just have to have more of this, then yeah, watch the second one. If you're just like that's good enough, like most normal people were, just don't watch the second one.
Yeah. I think that's all we got for this one.
Yeah, those are all our thoughts on Quiet Place Part 2. Check out our other movie review on Fast 9, the Fast and Furious Saga.
F9.
Fast 9.
The Fast Saga.
The Fast Saga.
F9F.
9F.
FFX.
FFX. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.